Oh, what a day! What a lovely day!
Welcome to Flat Earth Debate Live. I'm your host Nathan Oakley, and if you are new to this channel, or you've not done so already, then be sure to subscribe and hit the bell notification icon to keep up to date with the Flat Earth Debate. If you'd like to join the community debate, then go to nathanoakley.com and check out the Flat Earth Debate forum, which you should definitely all join. If you'd like to support the channel, there is a super chat that runs alongside each of these shows while they are live. There's also a PayPal, Patreon and crypto link in the info box below the video. Most importantly, if you'd like to join the discussion right here, right now, simply mute the page you are currently watching, then click the link in the info box below this video to join the panel and express your views on the nature of Earth. If you do join, please don't swear. If you do, you'll be ejected, and if you are, please don't try to rejoin the stream using sock accounts. You'll be warmly welcome back on the next stream. Please also share the show on social media. Sharing the show obviously increases the live audience, but this in turn increases the chances of a more diverse panel, so please share the show on social media. And one last time, if you're new to the channel or you've not done so already, then be sure to subscribe and hit the bell notification icon to keep up to date with the Flat Earth Debate. Now we are joined by the one, Paul, Jibby Jedi, Chocolate Sane and 10th Man in G+. How you all doing?
Hey.
Good afternoon.
Hello, Megatron.
Good morning.
Also a few people in Discord, so a warm welcome to everyone in Discord as well.
Hola.
Hello, good to have you all.
Hello.
Hello.
What's up?
Guy. Any evidence of Earth curvature?
Not from Bakersfield.
Not from Bulgaria.
Not from Pleasantville.
Pleasantville? Pleasantville was a film about 1950s America, where the whole film is in like black and white, and then as people start to become infected with modern society, they turn into colour. That's the movie, right?
That's the one.
And the one character has an orgasm and then becomes colour.
Yep.
They didn't have orgasms in the 1950s. There was no such thing. Anyway, let's move on. Any signs of axial rotation? Not from Pleasantville.
Not from the Earth-based variety.
Yeah, no signs of action at all.
Nope.
Any scientific evidence of gravity?
What?
Nope.
There was an article 2 weeks ago in Science News talking about trapping atoms in a laser beam offers a new way to measure gravity.
So what is it?
Anybody see that?
That's like smelly fart acting from Friends.
I didn't catch
I
that.
didn't, but
Yeah, I can't say that I saw that, no.
would you say it's
November
scientific
7th.
evidence? Is it scientific?
Yes. How atoms, how they are suspended, you can now measure them more accurately with a laser
Measure
beam.
them. What are them? And is this scientific evidence?
Atoms.
Atoms. Not gravity.
This is how they're measuring gravity, they claim, by trapping the atoms in like a tube and hitting it with a laser beam, which splits the atom, so the atom exists in two places at the same time, above and below. This is their claim.
I see. We'll have to get a bit more
How
info on it.
does that measure a concept?
I don't know. Hopefully we'll get some scientific validity to it. If we can find out what the experiment that was done, that'd be really useful. If you can let us know, Jibby.
Okay, I could post it in Master B.
Cool.
So, Jibby, did they say a laser trapped an atom or time?
A laser what?
The time bending?
No,
bending of
they didn't mention time.
Oh, so now it's lasers that
Yeah,
keep... Okay, no longer bending of space-time. So they've changed again.
yep, I just got there's the article right there in the Master B.
So it's the bending of laser time?
No, they did not measure that. This is why the speed of gravity must equal the speed of light. This is another article from October 24th in Forbes. I'll post this one too. this is where they do mention time with gravity. I just did some browsing last night on some of this just for the housekeeping questions. See if there was anything new out there.
Time and gravity, so concept and concept. Copy that.
They are saying this is why the speed of gravity must equal the speed of light, which is that's crazy. That's a crazy title.
Didn't we just have this argument yesterday
I don't
with
know.
Rumpus comparing 4D space to 3D Euclidean?
Yeah.
It was just on yesterday's show.
He said 4D space time is real, and that you can show it by somebody walking around their kitchen.
Yeah.
And then funny enough, for an Orthodox came on a little bit later after that and said, "I'm going to turn on my camera and show you stuff in my kitchen."
Oh,
So
yeah.
apparently, if kitchen, then bending of conceptual medium. Thanks.
There's a problem. I'm just reading my. Sorry, both.
Hang on.
There's an article. Just reading your article, the first one you sent, Jibby, and it's not proving anything. They're asserting a presupposition that gravity is causing something.
Correct.
So while held in the light, each version of a single atom behaves slightly differently, comma, due to their different proportions in Earth's gravitational field. Well, this isn't proving it. That's a presupposition.
Yeah. So sad about the Globers now.
Hey, Chocolate. Hey, Chocolate. So
Yes, sir.
So he said, if kitchen, then space time, right?
If you walk around in the space in your kitchen, then space time, something like
Right.
that. pretty
Well,
much.
that's a fallacy. We call it bacon the question.
Oh, nice.
Oh, this is off to a bad start. If the
Yeah.
sun was
Bacon the
spontaneously cease emitting light, we wouldn't know about it for 8 minutes. Well, that's based on a presupposition of an R value in a spherical Earth for a start. So their distance to the sun and the time it would take. Why am I getting rumpus before I finish my point? Go ahead.
I just wanted to say that 8 minutes equals distance to the sun.
Yeah, based on an R value that they presuppose in a spherical model with the Earth traversing the sun. This is a whole string of presuppositions to make that statement as their opening gambit. They've got 93 million miles stated as well, again based on a presupposition of an R value in a spherical Earth. Kepler's third law applied to interplanetary motion, based on an R value. This is just a presuppositional string of bullshit. I'll read a little bit more.
So basically, they've fallen flat from the beginning.
It's just begging the question of orbits. If the sun was to spontaneously somehow be removed from existence, then the Earth would remain in its elliptical presuppositional orbit. Paraphrasing slightly. Yeah. Just load of presuppositions. Okay, thank you, Jibby. Any evidence the distance to the sun beyond a presupposition?
Nope.
Give me 8 minutes and I'll get back with you.
What about the R value?
Stole that from me.
Any evidence of the R value that used in said presupposition?
No, and that's the problem with these articles, is because they have no proof of those things, but they always incorporate them in their new theoretical articles. But get to the baseline of it. Like, where is the proof of
Theoretical. Theoretical.
So then,
Those wouldn't be scientific theories, right? Or just colloquial?
It's colloquial.
Oh, okay. Just checking.
so it sounds like if article, then scientific fact.
Yeah.
That's
Pretty much.
As opposed to claiming your suspension of atoms is an observed phenomena, definitely not natural, and then simply asserting that gravity is causing things to happen with that arrangement. Oh, right. Very scientific. Not. Any evidence you can have gas pressure without a container?
I should think you should ask Danny Faulkner about it. a PhD astronomer.
Think you'd know.
I've heard he had a good answer about it, encompassing it all for 5 seconds of silence.
Right. Best answer he could have given the circumstances, i.e. the circumstances being you can't have gas pressure without a container, and he has a fundamentalist religious belief in a sky vacuum in violation of the second law of thermodynamics. So his stony silence was probably the best he could have done. Shout out to the flatearthchannel.com. He says, good morning from Toronto. Good morning to you too. Thank you for the super chat, flatearthchannel.com.
Hello.
Hello.
There was this guy in Discord yesterday on the chat, Undergrowth, that waits until the after show is over. He's called, what was it? Puppy Lover or something. And he says...
Yeah, I know that loser.
He says that the gas pressure gradient is evidence for this. And then when you hold him to it and ask why, he just says he believes in a sky vacuum.
That's nice.
Well, maybe I'm paraphrasing a little bit, but perhaps if we are unfortunate enough, he will show up and try to explain it himself.
It's circular
dances
reasoning.
with fools.
Circular reasoning.
Do
I
you
believe
know
the
why the
sky is a
Globers
vacuum, therefore the sky is a demonstration of gas pressure without a container. Circular reasoning. Exactly the same tactic used by son of an astronaut M. Scott Veitch. Point at the sky, assert it's a vacuum, and that being a demonstration of your fundamentalist belief in a sky vacuum. Circular reasoning.
All praise.
Dances with fools. Can you hear me?
Yeah, dancers, don't
Yes, I
hold
can
your
hear
breath.
Echo.
Don't hold
Go
your
on,
breath,
Babs.
dancers. That's not one of the guys that will come in here and defend his claims. So don't worry about him.
Yeah.
He'll stay
I was just going
very
to tell
silent in
dances
chat.
with fools that I know. I was just going to tell dances with fools that I know why the Globers that come in here don't say anything until the show's over. That's because we're on a live show and they don't want to get humiliated in front of the whole world. So they'd rather talk to us when this isn't being recorded, just because they're able to avoid getting wrecked on a live show.
I would agree with that assessment completely.
Yep.
Well,
And
if
another
that-
assessment that I want to make as well, since we were on the Danny Faulkner subject, he clearly stated that he's not interested in debating us or being challenged. He's only interested in having a smear campaign against flat earthers and get paid for that. So I'm just wondering why people are still interested in talking about him or whatever he has to say when all he wants to do is have a smear campaign against us and get paid for it. I mean, how is this guy different from Simon Dan? Because this is exactly what Simon Dan does. He does smear campaign videos and he doesn't want to be challenged for it.
Can I answer this?
Yeah, good.
I want to tell you that if I'm a normie and somebody points to me out that video of Nathan asking him about the gas pressure, and I have no knowledge in the subject, and I know who he is, and he's a PhD, I'll definitely take a look into it, because this one is silent like a lamb. So what's going on there? If I'm a normie, I'll be triggered by that video. I want to know more.
Anthony had the same attitude, Babs, and the difference is that Simon Dan is a nobody, and a PhD astronomer is a priest in the subject matter. So that's why. It's not that we need him to suddenly affirm that he's got nonsense assertions of religious rhetoric when he talks about his sphere belief, or that he shouldn't be challenging us or smearing us. That's standard fare. But what we can still do is expose a PhD astronomer as having no answer to the second law of thermodynamics violation sky vacuum he believes in. And he has no answer for that. Now, we can just expose it. Now, once you've exposed it, you move on. But if he, like you say, if he continues to smear us, we'll just continue to expose him as not actually being genuine. He's not truthful. He can't smash all assertions. It's not that people haven't researched enough, as he asserted on his radio interview. he can't answer the questions. So it's just exposing that fact in a heliocentric priest.
Right. We do know that he can't answer any of the questions.
Yeah.
And we
No,
also
he
know
won't.
that people like him have been watching this community for a while. So he's probably noticed that we get a lot of traffic, and he's just trying to cash in on it. And the people that are going to read his book are not people that watch this show. They're the zombies that, you know, don't care about the truth.
Well,
So
even
what are
better
you saying?
reason to talk about him and to expose him, because Mr. I haven't met a flat earth argument I can't respond to. That's the type of person that needs to be responded to or talked about. So yeah, I don't, even though he's played himself out at this point for us, I don't mind talking about him continually, because this guy has got a book, right? He's at flat earth conferences, apparently all three of the American ones, right? Running around with his nonsensical bullshit. So yeah, keep talking about him, keep exposing him, keep putting him out there. Like, look, this guy, simple question, you had no response, right?
Perfect, Chucky. Perfect.
Thanks. I mean, that's how I feel anyway. I could give a shit about him and his book and
He
his
hasn't
nonsense.
he hasn't answered the questions from 2016, and he writes this book as if he has. Of course, we're going to expose him.
And Nathan gave
I
him
just
enough
feel
time
like-
to answer.
I just feel like he's a scumbag. Like, he's just obviously doing this for money, and the mere fact that he doesn't want to be challenged by anybody proves that, you know? Like, he just wants to do a monologue and not get challenged and just smear all of us.
So how is
He's
that?
he's actually the best gift Flat Earth ever got. Are you kidding me?
One
How's
of
that-
the best, yeah.
How is that any
That
different
was
to Neil deGrasse
I'm sorry.
Tyson or Brian Cox, who absolutely won't engage in this debate and are only being paid to punt their religion? That's no different.
It's no different.
Exactly.
It's the exact
This
same
is
thing.
the
They're
exposition
all
of these
scumbags.
people. Babs, this is the exposition of these people running from us. Okay? Much shit as they want to talk, Neil deGrasse has stated he will not debate flat earthers, right? None
Can
of
I
these
give-
people will debate flat earthers. This lady that just got caught out there by Wakey Wakey played herself out and said, "Oh, if I knew you were one of those people, we would even have had this interview," right? So they're afraid to speak to us. Why? Why is that?
That's a good point, Chocolate. They are running from us.
Yeah, but
Yep.
But there's one good thing, because if people start knowing who they are, get to know them well, soon will be so many that there will be people stopping them on the streets and asking them those questions. There's nowhere to hide.
Good. Do it. I'm down with that.
Imagine if it was Neil deGrasse Tyson who went to the last three Flat Earth conferences in the States. And imagine that interview with Nathan Thompson. It was Neil deGrasse Tyson in that seat not answering. Wouldn't that be gold just to have it?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, well, this is a gift. We got one of them. Wakey Wakey got another. And Brian Cox and Neil deGrasse are saying, "You idiots, that's why we don't talk. Why'd you go there?"
Nah, Neil deGrasse is already too bothered about this, because he's been asked twice, 2 interviews with Joe Rogan and Jesse Ventura, why do you seem irritated by this topic? Why do you seem irritated by this subject? Right? So he's talking to regular guys and he's irritated. Imagine
Right,
if
but-
one of us ran up on him.
Yeah,
That's not happening.
Did you see the interview last year, I think it was, with Bill Nye basically having a breakdown about flat Earth?
Yes, I did. Yes.
That was...
Getting
he
very,
was just
very
being
annoyed.
interviewed about something else, and he just kept reverting back to flat earthers in their statements, like he was having a breakdown.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. He's
I didn't
full
see
on
that.
spewing his zealotry and spewing his disdain for flat earthers. Not addressing any arguments, just pointing out how stupid we are based on the fact that it's obviously a sphere. That was about as good as it got from him.
Obama did it in live news conferences. He went all the way to Obama saying, "There are people who believe the Earth is flat."
Or we don't have a time for meeting of the Flat Earth Society. He
Yeah.
said as well.
Was this
Pure
before
arrogance.
or after Bill Nye's little statement of the Earth is a closed system? We can't leave the Earth. Something I want your generation to know.
Yeah, that closed system came first.
What
Just
was
break
that
it out.
about?
Just before
That's
we
a
move on,
little
sorry,
weird.
sorry guys, we've segued away from
Yeah.
Babs's point. This was actually Babs's point to begin with, so I don't know if he wants to round it out with anything.
No, I was just stating the fact that I think he's scum. And I mean, I understand why you guys are doing what you're doing. I personally wouldn't give him any attention at all, just based on the facts that I pointed out earlier.
Yeah,
Well-
and I can agree with you, because I give the same advice when I talk about NASA. You know, why watch NASA broadcasts or SpaceX broadcasts or any propaganda space broadcasts when you can just ignore them? You don't have to give them any credence or attention. My life is more fulfilled for not having that in my life. So to say, well, let's go and look at this subcategory, this branch of heliocentrism, this particular priesthood, and attack them, well, but for the fact that he's actually at a flat Earth conference that we're all watching, probably wouldn't have got any attention. He's just another heliocentric priest, right? But he's right up in our faces. Now, your attitude as well, leave him be, same as Anthony's. And while I understand that argument, it's the exposure of the fraud in that regard that's necessary.
I have I have a lot more respect for people like George. I mean, I know he has done horrible things in the past, but at least he comes in and challenges people. He doesn't just monologue and, you know, doesn't want anybody to challenge anything that he says. You know what I mean?
I don't
but
even
he
know what you
doesn't
just said
actually
there.
take it up though. He asks you to challenge him, but then when you challenge him, he red herrings you. So I don't know.
Yeah, I don't even know.
But at
that
least
makes
not
he
much
still
different from
accepts
Rumpus, really.
challenges.
Say again, Babs.
I think most of them just want to lecture us.
Yeah.
Yep.
They do. They want to tell you what's what.
But people
Yeah.
like that are one of the most valuable assets to shows like this one and other shows, because they're just there to give all the wrong examples and all the wrong logical fallacies. So that works fine for the normies because they can hear it all.
Yep. QE's been saying it for ages. Just let them open their mouths.
It is
Yeah.
kind of telling, isn't it, that like how many times the same questions were asked and answered in the same way and then rebutted over and over and over again. And it's like the ballers seem to act like nobody has a memory longer than a day. But I'll bet there's a lot of people out there that have a memory longer than a day. And they can see the same questions being forwarded, even though they have been rebutted so elaborately.
These Globers,
Yeah,
we've told them the
Arwen,
same stuff
remember-
for 5 years in a row, and they still don't get it. So they're never gonna get it. Like for 5 years, we've been telling them the same things over and over again, and they still don't get it. So they're never gonna
This
get
happens
it.
with
ever.
every conspiracy is like this. I remember back in the 9/11 days, you could post them 50 videos or 50 websites or 50 studies that are against the official story, and then in the next breath they say, so where's your evidence? And this is the same mentality. Until you say what they want to hear, they don't hear you.
No, they
They're
don't.
just looking for what they want to hear. That's it.
But
Look,
they,
we're the front lines. We're going to get bloody and messy, arguing, debating. Look at Nathan, did a great job over there at the conference. And yeah, they want to lecture us. Well, here, explain to us how you can have gas pressure without a container. We're listening. Chirp, chirp, chirp. No lecturing now. No, the front lines is going to be hostile in this sense, and things will flare up. Emotions will get up. The normies will never do this. The normies need the front lines, or else they can't live happy lives behind the front lines.
yeah, and they're digging their own grave and the grave for the ball.
But to do what you've described, Babs, takes quite a lot of cognitive effort. Let's put it that way. And it's strenuous to do so. And that has abject effects further down the line. You know, depression.
Afternoon.
Hey, Adam. Good to have you.
Hi, guys.
So yeah, there's a lot of depressed fundies out there.
they are.
Well, this is
I
why.
agree 100%.
This is why. Hearing an absolute demolition of your claim and then sticking that on the back burner mentally and just asserting the same thing the following day, well, that's going to hurt mentally.
Brenda.
It really is, and we can see it in how they behave.
Yeah, I'm good with, not really bringing Danny Faulkner up anymore because we got what we wanted. We wanted somebody to approach him at the conference and put him to task.
Yeah, we hear you.
Put him to task, and that's it. So we got that. He responded with the best response that he could muster, and we're good. Or I am.
Then now he's forever part of the Flat Earth textbook. See what's the professional answer to it.
Move on.
Sometimes there's some people go in and don't get any support from any other flat earthers. This year, that's what happened to me. I haven't heard anybody really come to my side and ask me how that was to take it up to Gem Panda's server pretty much on my own. I had everybody, Karen B, Riley, Babs was there, Psychics, were a bunch of people. They all watched that unfold. They didn't say a word a lot of the time.
Watch what unfold.
Oh, poor baby.
Hold on. Watch what unfold.
See, this is how it goes. See, it's like certain people think that what they do is more important for the cause, or certain egos rise and the cream rises, when there's many people who've gone into battle for this subject and got no credit.
I have no
And
idea what you're
faced
talking about.
Me neither.
more
You have to
than
give us more
you
details.
guys would realize.
I want to
Personal
sympathise.
attack.
I want to sympathise with you, Mel, but I just can't get a grasp on the context that you're giving. So you're saying when all this happened, everybody stood by and watched. You're gonna have to give us more detail.
Well, I entered Gem Panda's server, and then there were several people who accompanied me, one being Haunted House John, Psychics Warrior, Space Pope, Dem Mock, and this was coming out the back of a long line of hangouts where we were trying to have a serious discussion to get to the bottom of the heliocentrists and if they really had any definitive proof beyond rhetoric and their hand wanking that they do daily. So certain people took it upon themselves to see if they really had anything. I was in discussions with Jem, Twitwit, M. Scott Veach, a bunch of people, Curved Water, a lot of people who used to frequent your channel once upon a time. They were all ejected and they all found themselves in a little Discord server called Gem Pandas 24/7. They're the main trolls. I mean, George, M. Stone, all the people who troll Flat Earth are there.
Okay.
Why aren't they here giving us their glow proofs?
Well, they have.
No,
They've
but,
come.
but you guys don't go in and take it up to them. People like me did.
Okay.
Yeah,
They've
but
been here.
why
We've
should
already
we
smashed
have
them,
to
though.
chase them?
All of those people on the list have been here and
people
smashed,
like me
been
get,
smashed,
like,
Mel.
muted.
Well,
Like,
they've all-
don't get any real credit, respect.
We
You
didn't
guys
even know
don't
you were
know what
there.
I faced.
We didn't know you were there. All the people you've listed have been here and
Yeah,
been
you
smashed.
should know. Anthony Riley knows I was there. There's a bunch of people who knew I was in there, facing all them on my own.
What are you trying to achieve in there?
Yeah.
Credence,
Credence?
some rationality, some
Credence and
common sense.
rationality with people who still think somebody drove a dune buggy on the moon.
Yeah.
Like, you think you're gonna come to a rational understanding with
you guys
somebody
will
like that?
invite them into the 24/7 and like gave them airtime.
Yeah, they're still
You're,
welcome.
don't be hypocrites, guys.
Are we not?
You're all
They're still
hypocrites.
welcome. You said ejected.
you are.
Nobody was ejected.
Totally hypocrite.
Oh,
You're out
God.
here on YouTube making out like, oh, you know.
What?
Where's
why are you
your
attacking us
respect
now,
for the
Mel? I'm trying to
grassroots?
get to the bottom of what's happened, and you've started attacking me for some reason. I don't get it.
Because where's your respect for the grassroots?
What are you talking about? What respect for what grassroots?
You're out there on Super Chat, you and Jose, all these big channels. Where do you ever get like give something back to the real
What are
people?
you talking about? I give up my time daily to do this. So what do you think I'm doing now?
To do what?
To do what I'm doing right this second, discussing...
This is where the grassroots started.
Spruik your own wares.
Well, why have you turned this around into an attack on me when we're trying to establish the issue that you had in a server full of trolls that you've decided to go in of your own volition along with people alongside you, and your criticism is that they didn't support you? And I just want to hear a bit more about that rather than start addressing me and my requirement to have money, which is the same as absolutely everybody.
Because this is why Flat Earth is bullshit.
What, because I need to make a living and have chosen to do it through YouTube and the subject matter of Flat Earth?
Because most people stay on mute, keep their head down, speak when, I don't know, when there's no shots being fired. Because you're all pussies.
But that's not
Yeah,
true.
but you're not talking about the right show, apparently.
You are.
Because
I've
none of us...
spent
Hold on, don't everyone get annoyed. Let him get it off his chest first. Go ahead, Mel.
I know what's going on here.
Okay, all the people you've listed have already been here and had their arguments taken to pieces.
I'm not against you. I like
Merle,
you're one of the
can
only
I ask you a
people who
question?
takes it right up to them.
Merle,
You know,
can I
come
ask
on,
you?
Babs. You could at least unmute now and fucking vouch for me and that. You never fucking do.
So is that the issue?
You just need to harden up, bro.
Hold on.
What are you talking about, Merle?
Well, his issue, from what I can glean so far, is that he went into the Discord server and talks all over me while I summarise his issue.
Fuck you, cunts.
I'm trying to summarise your issue.
I know the server you're talking about, yeah. And when I went in there and I asked one of the guys, because they were all talking about Antarctica, so I said to one of the guys, do you believe Antarctica goes around the outside of the Earth, right? Now, the guy I asked didn't have a problem with that question, and he answered yes straight away. But then, as soon as the guy answered, the rest of the flat earthers in that server started saying, well, that's a straw man argument. And I was like, well, how the hell is that a straw man? I only asked him what he believed. And then it was just abuse about being a straw man after that. So there was no point continuing the conversation with him.
Who's them?
The flat earthers in that channel Merlin was talking about.
See, because you've used that terminology, you almost got away with it. You said them, and then rather than specifically addressing the people who claimed it, or the person that was having the discussion that stated his belief in an ice wall, you've said them, the flat earthers. So this becomes a stereotyping fallacy. It's a straw man if the entirety of flat earthers are being pigeonholed by this one guy's example. Ergo, straw man. Correct analysis.
Yeah, but I wasn't asking if all the flat earthers there believed that. I was only asking.
Try and keep up, Highlander. Try and keep up, mate. Try and keep up. I just asked you that question, and your answer was the flat earthers. That was your answer. So you've already contextualised who was being stereotyped when I asked you quite directly, who are they? And you told me, flat earthers.
I thought you were asking who was calling me a straw man.
Yeah.
Yeah? Who was saying that was a straw man?
That's what I was asking. Try and keep up. Yes.
But Merle's not addressing the flat earthers on that server. He's addressing the Globers on that server.
Yeah, I'd still like to go back to Merle's issue? Because it sounds like he's saying there's not enough support given from other flat earthers when support is needed. Now, the context I'm not so fussed about in terms of the subject matter that was being argued about, more about the communal aspect as much as it makes me gag, which is what he's talking about, right?
Yeah.
Kumbaya.
Yeah, kumbaya, but still, that's his issue, and I want to hear it.
But why bring the? Are we kumbaya people over here? I don't.
No.
Did we ever display ourselves like that?
Does it change?
So
it doesn't...
why are you bringing that here, bro? I'm not like you and I have always gotten along. I'm just trying to understand where you're coming from.
Me too.
So you went on Jen's Panda server, and I don't know, you had it out with them, and you don't feel like you got enough support from flat earthers. Is that what you're saying? I'm just trying to kind of understand.
Well, yeah. I mean, it went on for months. I mean, I've got a recording of it, like of even Jem asking me to come back to the ball, and there's a nice seat for you back on the globe, Merle, and all this.
But they do that to
And
me.
hang on,
He
Merle.
said, "Come
Why
back
are
to
you-
the
why are you
ball. We
trying to-
have cake."
why are you trying to-
Yeah, they do
Hold on,
that
sorry.
shit to me
Just one at
all
a
the
time.
time.
Merle,
Just one,
why-
I think. Hold on, just Arwin, then Babs. Go ahead, Arwin.
Yeah, sorry. I just want to say, Merle, look, they do that to me like on a weekly basis, and like ever since I came out basically as a flat earther, they keep on doing that. It's like their religion compels them to, just like Jehovah's Witness. They have to try against all odds.
Go ahead, Babs.
Merle, I don't get why you're throwing me under the bus, because I was there with you side by side battling the Globers. I'm still there, and it's just me all by myself against like 10 people. So I don't know what you're talking about when you're saying that I wasn't there or I didn't have your back. What are you talking about?
Good. No, that's what I wanted to hear.
Okay, then. All square.
I wind
So
him up.
was that
but
reverse
he's right.
psychology? What?
No, but he.
Merle,
this
if it's one flat earther against 10, they are outnumbered. You shouldn't need support if you're swinging right.
Yeah. No, I agree.
Yeah,
I agree.
natural law and science, and you're outnumbering them 10-1.
Let the arguments
Yeah.
do the
Take
damage.
it as an opportunity to sharpen your argument.
Oh yeah, don't worry about that. That happened. Definitely did.
But you still
But
got the gripe.
it's all good. I just thank you. Thanks, Nathan. It's not. I appreciate you.
If you just wanted to get that off your chest, then fine. I'll move on in housekeeping.
Yeah. I do. Thanks.
Yeah,
Thank
no
you.
worries. If you've got a grievance, it doesn't matter if it's a kumbaya grievance or not. No, we're not kumbaya people, but at the same token, it doesn't mean that people who come here aren't. They are. There are people who want to hear the being supported by other people when they go out tentatively to challenge the globe earth rhetoric. So I get where you're coming from. It's not my bag, but it's yours, and I don't disrespect that. Hey, Quantum Eraser, very good to have you.
Good morning.
Good morning. Any evidence of a self-perpetuating molten iron core at the centre of a presupposed spherical Earth?
Not in Indonesia.
I don't think they'll even defend that one.
Sorry, what was that question again?
Any evidence of a self-perpetuating molten iron core at the centre of a presupposed spherical Earth? Shout out to Superlooming Hyena says, give Merrill a trophy for going on Gem's Good Discord. Yeah, right on. Thank you very much, Superlooming Hyena.
Yeah. Well, he's certainly not a coward.
Hold on, Arwin. Highlander wants to make a point. Go ahead, Highlander.
I just want to go down the same kind of logic as you do when I ask you a question. So before we can answer that, can you tell me how big the Earth is, where the Earth is, what it's made of?
Oh,
before
I'm not
we
asking
can talk
because
about anything
I see.
about the Earth.
Yeah, I'll just clear up that confusion. I'm not asking because I'm making a claim that Earth has a molten iron core. It's part of the standard model. So I'm asking for demonstrable proof from the people who believe in the standard model of their belief in the standard model. I'm not actually making any claim. I don't believe there's a molten iron core or do I need to know any parameters about anything to take a dump on that claim? Which is what I'm doing by asking for proof of a self-perpetuating molten iron core at the centre of an Earth presupposed to be spherical. I don't need any parameters to ask for that evidence. It's made clear in textbooks for school children that the heliocentric model has that. So I'm not making a claim. I don't need to give you anything.
Do you know how big the Earth is in your model, Highlander?
The same as it was yesterday.
What was that?
He said the same. He said the
I said
same
the
as
same
it was
thing that was
yesterday. And
yesterday.
what
No,
was that?
I heard that. That's what I'm saying. What was it yesterday?
5
The
divided
same
by
as it
0.
was the day before that.
Come on, Highlander.
What is
Work
it,
with me here,
Highlander?
man.
No, I
What-
don't need
what's
to.
the-
No,
how
no,
big is
Chocolate.
the
I'm not
Earth?
going to let you do it. Don't shit test him on his knowledge of heliocentric equators and R values. I don't care. You know, the fact is that the
All right.
model has a presupposed R value and a presupposed spherical molten iron core self-perpetuating. Those are the things that I want to see evidence of, not his knowledge of the model, because the model's not the reality, and the reality is claimed to have a molten iron core. That's all I'm interested in. Sorry, I'm just not going to let you shit test him. It's just not necessary.
No, I hear you. I just, to me, I like the pattern of asking him questions that
right,
he himself
which
can't respond to,
wasn't presupposing anything about the Earth.
except
You
when
told
somebody
me
else is
before
talking.
we
Of
can
course.
talk about the light that we know we get from the sun, you need to know what the sun is, where it is, and what it's made of.
That's right.
What's the sun?
Why
that's
do you
right.
need to know all that to talk about the light that we know we get from the sun?
We're not talking about the sun. We were talking about molten iron core. If your juxtaposition is to say that in order to know what the sun is, we'd first need to know how big it is or how far it is, then yeah, that's perfectly reasonable, because beyond that you have to make a presupposition. In this instance with the molten iron core, there's no evidence at all. There's no fudging of maths. There's just a bullshit claim.
Can I just speak on
Again,
that?
see, this is the problem we have, is that you guys don't listen. Just like yesterday, you didn't listen, right? Here's yesterday's example, right? I asked what was 5. Hold on, let me finish. I asked what was 5 divided by 0, right? The answer is undefined, right? You can't do it. You can't divide by 0.
Yeah, but you said it was 0.
Then I asked, right? Hold on. Then I asked if there's 5 apples on the table, right? And I divide that by 0 people. How many people have apples, right? And you lot went on a mad fucking rant, and we just answered that. It's not the same fucking question.
Look,
right?
Highlander,
The whole point
no
wasn't
no
to
offence, mate. I don't want it.
question.
Highlander, can you
The
shut
whole
up now?
point was to see
Highlander.
if you listen.
Highlander,
Yeah?
can you shut up now?
You don't.
Can you shut up? I don't want to have to remove you for being totally unreasonable and babbling on indefinitely that we don't listen, that you've said 6 times. There's just no need. Now, the fact that you had a total bum beating yesterday over this doesn't change the fact that we don't want to discuss it now. It's a pointless conversation when we're on the topic of a molten iron core that there's no evidence of. This is a ham-handed segue to your arse beating from yesterday.
But
Zero.
can I point out though that he just hold on. He just specified that it's undefined, but yet yesterday said it was 0.
Yeah, he's
so
trying to,
does he
trying to
accept,
weasel.
concede that it was wrong? His response.
Yeah,
that
he was
you
demonstrated to
don't
be
know
wrong.
what 5 divided by 0 is.
No, he's trying
when you
to,
said
trying to
that.
weasel in the right answer, having given the wrong answer and claimed that a 7-year-old knew and told him. And then when he gave the wrong answer and it was clearly defined by Quantum Eraser, he's doing what he does now, which is talking over me. Yeah, you took a proper beating yesterday on this subject, Highlander, to now rumpus the crap out of everybody and distract from the fact that I've asked for molten iron core evidence to this crap where you got a beating. I don't want to hear it.
But I get right, and I asked, right, using the same logic and reasoning you did when I asked you about the light from the sun. I didn't
Who
ask
cares?
you anything about the sun. I asked you about the light from the sun.
Who cares?
Yeah?
We're not talking about
But
the
you
sun, we were
said,
talking
well,
about a
before
molten
we
iron
can
core.
talk about the light from the sun.
Yeah, you've
we need
said,
to know what the
you've
sun
said,
is and
you've
what
said
it's made
4
of.
times. That's not the question on the table. You're just distracting from that question. Do you have evidence of a molten iron core? If not, I want to go to Adam. Been waiting for about 2 or 3 minutes.
No, I'm using your logic and reasoning to try and answer that question.
So you
But
have
you don't like
what?
it when your logic and reasoning is
Sorry,
turned
yeah, I heard
against
that
you.
too. What have you got as evidence of a molten iron core? Go.
Come on.
Adam.
Serious?
Over to you, Adam.
Well, yeah, just to bring it back to the I did have a little bit of evidence, which was on the Global Eye Tour banners. We had a picture, cross-sectional picture with the molten iron core in there. And it's a really interesting topic to get people on. And I'm being a bit geeky. I wanted to get to the molten iron, the Curie point, etc., etc. But the thing I found with regards to that when interacting with people and just giving that description was the Kola super deep borehole. And going on to the pictures are great sometimes with their little model where you show you the presuppositions that even in their model they make. And on the printing, there's this tiny little white line basically going around the cross section. And I'm saying to people, look at that. That's not even, that's going to be 50, 60 miles. So we've only gone down 8 miles. Can you see how ridiculous it is, the presumptions they're making, that they're trying to pretend that they know the composition of all of this area all the way down? And I found that a really powerful argument. And we're not dealing with ballers here. We're dealing, just with laymen that really did strike home. It was quite a powerful point, and probably with the way Highlander was distracting as well. You can see it's a very different.
Adam, it's not even a full 8 miles, bro. It's like 7.6. Like, it takes longer for me to get to work than how deep we've gotten. Like, this is ridiculous.
Anything else to add on the molten iron core, or can we move on to the next housekeeping question 45 minutes into the live show? Housekeeping. It's supposed to be done in like 2 minutes.
Well, if all goes right, housekeeping is technically not supposed to get done, because when we ask a question, one of these questions should be completely destroyed by one of these globers if we actually lived on a ball.
Yeah,
so we shouldn't even get past number 1, but apparently we get through all of them every day. So I don't know what's going on there.
Yeah, if there's one proof that the Earth is flat, that's it.
I'm going to read out.
Like,
4 hours.
What? Say again, QE?
What's up, John?
4 more hours.
4 more hours. I'm going to read out Chris. Is it Pogson? Chris Pogson says 7 stages of denial: shock, denial, anger, bargaining, depression, testing, and acceptance. Takes a while for 90% of globers to get past the first 4. Thank you very much indeed for the super chat, Chris Pagson. Also a shout out to Don B, who says second donation of the day. Well, thank you very much indeed. Really appreciate it. Thanks very much. He says great job, guys. Well, thank you for the super chat, Don B. Really appreciate your support. Is there any evidence in the entire history of astronomy, cosmology, or astrophysics of a viable hypothesis?
No.
Nope.
Presuppositions at best.
That's what I was going to say.
It's been on the table for about 3 weeks now. In this time, we've had Wakey Wakey speak to an astrophysicist, and we've had Nathan Thompson speak to an astronomer, both experts in their field.
Well, I think right after asking that question, Michio Kaku did a good job answering, at least with the subject of theoretical physics, because he says nobody in my field knows, understands, uses the scientific method. It's guesswork, leaps of logic. We work by the seat of our pants. That's your science, guys.
Last but by no means least, any evidence that you can have gas pressure, that would be what we all breathe, without the necessary antecedent of a container to press upon and be pressure.
Danny Faulkner.
Can you ask your space-time question? Now we've concluded the housekeeping questions. I watched the replay yesterday, and it didn't come through until Quantum Eraser said, "Look, can you let the one ask his question about the 4th dimension of time in regards to the 3 dimensions of space?" Can you repeat your question that was put to Rumpus yesterday?
Absolutely. I wanted to know, because Rumpus seems like the guy who can answer that question. So yesterday on the show, I asked Rumpus how much time do you have in a cubic meter of space, and then how much space do you have in an hour? And he said it's a stupid question, malformed question.
You should have known the answer is 3.
Yeah, how dare he not just rattle off a random number and just say, well, there you go. Mathematically. There's at least 25 seconds in a cubic meter.
Well, it was a very clever question.
It was clever, very clever.
And Rumpus should have known the answer.
Well, the whole time I'm talking to him, I'm trying to lead him to the point of confession, you know, something devastating that he actually says. And I couldn't get him there. You did with that question. Because him saying, well, that's a malformed question is like, right, I'm asking you, and the reason you're being asked this question is because I'm asking you to show me space-time. And when you're asked how much time is in a cubic meter, well, that's malformed. Well, yeah, we're talking about fourth dimensions here, aren't we? Something that you can't possibly show, but you reify into existence because Einstein said it's so. No, I even said it's so. Defined it as pseudo, right? So it's not like he's pretending it's real either. It's only these muppets that reify it into existence.
Yep. And it's good that now everybody on the panel will use it everywhere. It's just my...
There was a point. I'm sorry, D. There was a point when Nathan and Rumpus were going back and forth, and he said it's not just the concept, it's real. And then he said, just because you don't understand the concept of it. I'm just sitting there
yeah,
like,
I
wow.
got that after.
I don't think anybody caught that either.
Yeah, I didn't. I wrote it in the chat on the subscribe today link below to Nathan Oakley channel. So the uncut and after show, when these live show finishes, actually go out on that channel. So 10 p.m. UK time tonight. The bit that we record after this live show finishes will go out. And in that instance, it was the Rumpus, and he's arguing away, and I just didn't catch him say that. So he's saying, no, space-time's real, space-time's real. And then he says, if Einsteinian mechanics is a difficult concept to understand, you're like, damn, why didn't I catch that in the moment?
I know, I just heard it when I listened to it back this morning. I was just like, nobody caught that either.
I think Rumpus should write a book and name it How to Conceptualize a Concept.
Well, he wanted to use the word modified as if that's going to change what a conception is.
The second law of thermodynamics does not apply to the Earth.
Well, we have you on record saying that. It's just...
Where have you got me on record saying that entropy doesn't apply to the Earth? I'd never say such a thing. The second law of thermodynamics does not apply to the Earth. The second law of thermodynamics does not apply to the Earth.
Yeah.
In that one statement, he's made himself look more stupid than ever. Natural law doesn't apply to nature. That's essentially what he's saying. Did you want to add something, Merlin?
Oh no, sorry. I just was excited to hear Rumpus's nonsense for a second. It's good.
Gets me excited too. Shout out to Dave Rackier Gafford. He says, dang, I was on mute. Almost forgot to support what I love and matters, truth. Oh, thank you very much, Dave Rackier Gafford. Really appreciate your support.
Shout out Rakia Life. Shout out, bro.
He's a content producer, you know.
Yeah, I know. I've seen his sunset videos, his moon videos. Good shit, man.
Yeah. Subscribe today. Dave Rackier Gafford. Click on his icon. Go to channel. Go and subscribe. Does actually produce videos. My favourite kind of viewer.
I'm digging for a bit, if I may, into Riemannian geometry, which is what pseudo-Riemannian force space was built upon. And it wasn't exactly what I expected, but apparently it's a study of geometry. Here it goes, based specifically on the study of curves. Like, it's weird. And even the Riemannian geometry is just purely geometrical theory. All of it.
Mathematical
Not
theory.
involving time or anything. And Einstein added onto that. I'm just flustered.
It's not a scientific theory.
No. It's a study of geometry. Apparently, that they engaged in with their whole
Like
thing.
science is a branch of
Einstein
science.
put his pseudo-Riemannian force space concept on top of it, like a crown. Made of
Yeah,
whatever.
time's always going to be a concept. Doesn't matter what you do in the mathematics. It's a concept. That's
right.
I thought we covered this yesterday.
No. But it's just fascinating to see that it all stems from the pure study of geometry, especially involving curves. That is just so weird. It's like the making things into mathematics.
Mathematicization.
Yes, that's the one. I couldn't get it.
No mathematics.
Sometimes they get it right, but the mathematicalization, I'll call it, of like physical features, and it's basically working the other way around, from math into physical literalness. That's what that studies. And then Einstein wrote on top of that, inserted time concepts, and then suggested that would cause gravity, even though the very medium is basically a studying medium for geometry in physical features. So weird.
That's because it's not real.
Yeah.
He's got a soundboard.
Warping in my kitchen. Yeah, that's the point. You can't show it because it's not real. It's not real.
I love it. Right, with that, I'm going to say a huge, massive, enormous thank you to all of you who tuned in live on the Nathan Oakley 1980 premiering stream, for hopefully smashing the super chat, liking, commenting, sharing, subscribing, and all that good stuff. Be sure to check out nathanoakley.com and the Flat Earth Debate Forum to keep up to date with the community debate. Stay tuned if you're watching on Nathan Oakley premiering stream, as there will be an after show to follow. If you're not already subscribed to Nathan Oakley, there is a link in the info box below this video. As I say, I've been Nathan Oakley, and I'll see you all in that next video.
Oh, what a day! What a lovely day!